Hi, my name is Jacob Adams. I'm a fitness and leadership coach. I help people just like you get to the next level. Have you ever gone through a dark period in your life? Struggled with depression, anxiety, things that are making you question what's next? It could be a breakup, it could be a loss of a job, it could be illness, it could be all types of things. Myself, just this year, I was in a car accident. I actually quit a job. And there's been instances where I've gone through breakups. So my experience with dark periods are numerable. They are numerable. Some of the first and the most pronounced dark periods of my life were when I was growing up and got into, you could say, physical altercations and fights with my dad because of, childhood trauma or drama, okay? And that's stuff I've talked about in other videos. So I want to touch on some of the main ones today and explain to you that the vastness, you could say, of my experiences with darkness. And then some breakups have been some of the most. For a decade, it's been about 3 breakups that come to mind that were challenging and made me question my own inner being, my own inner peace, my heartbreaks, my ego came to the surface, etc., etc. And so the experiences in my life that have challenged me, whether it's going through car accidents that cost me both a car and put me in the hospital, maybe question life, maybe I could have died I've been in accidents where I could have died maybe twice if I got hit a little bit the wrong way or with a little more velocity. I'm not talking much more of a difference than that. So there's been periods of my life where darkness was significantly on the brink of a devastating feeling, right? Let's say the car accidents would probably be technically the most intense of them, but something that we're like, okay, it was an accident, right? And then you say the breakups were, well, what is that? That's life, right? Life has a certain element of chance and luck, and our own egos come to the surface and help create these things, these situations where we can say something or maybe get in consistent arguments with people, and those arguments lead to more tension and power struggles and dynamics, right? And that could be why we break up, right? That's happened to me. And then you could say the childhood traumas that occur in our life, the childhood situations, that's something that when they happen and they scar us on some level for many years, decades, and then maybe through counseling or through some knowledge of self, we can go back and say, yes, the time where this happened and I maybe put it in a box and I didn't want to ever look again. I never wanted to go to that aspect of my life, or maybe you or me, like myself, we can even say, I don't want to talk about my father, or I don't want to talk about it, or, we in some ways just run so far away as much as we can for maybe a decade, right? Like myself, I ran away for a decade from knowing my dad and wanting to deal with forgiveness and stuff like that in the healing process. I ran away and pretended like I was a normal person that never had any issues, right? Everything I could to just, not face the past. So darkness comes in many forms. There has been times in my life where I didn't know how I was going to make rent, or I didn't know where the next meal, or like the next, it's not that I was ever on the street or anything, but I was like, damn, things are getting pretty stressful financially, right? And there's been times in my life where that has been the case, the situation. And so eventually I encountered a book in 2016, and it was called Through the Darkwood. It was by James Hollis. And James Hollis, in that book, said eventually, now this is from memory, and so if I quote incorrectly, it's not verbatim. Going back to what I was getting at is, he said, in life, eventually, you go through the darkness, you experience so much challenge, and eventually you experience that which sustains you when you cannot sustain yourself. That which sustains you. Eventually in life you experience that which sustains you when you cannot sustain yourself. And that's by James Hollis. Said that. If he was quoting somebody, I don't know. James Hollis said that. He also said, you're never going to have a better relationship than the one you have with yourself. Now, these two ideas help me ground and develop a cornerstone of sorts to start breaking through the next level of understanding. As you've discovered, most masters in any field agree on certain things. People that are in fitness agree that fiber, weight training, omega-3, high water, a good water intake, rest, are significant cornerstones to developing a physique, a world-class physique. Protein intake, there's certain things that are indisputably accepted amongst a large majority of masters in any field or industry. And so the reason I bring that up is in finding this book by James Hollis and processing what he was getting at, I was able to help crystallize the cornerstone of understanding that in life we will face uncertainty, challenges, struggles, in which we have to walk through the dark wood, right? That's the name of the book, Through the Dark Wood, and experience and meet that which sustains us when we cannot sustain ourselves. To someone like myself, that would be God, because I am a Christian, was raised Catholic, I'm a yogi. These meditation beads I'm wearing aren't just for show, there is a tool that I use to meditate and connect with God, right? So, that said, Through the Dark Wood, identifying the cornerstone of trusting that there's a creator, a being that can help me walk through the darkness, through the challenge, through the uncertainty, through which I can turn to in faith to get the next level of understanding and growth. See, faith is not something that we can simply discount only because it is trendy to discount faith or say that God doesn't exist or we have so much technology that faith is unnecessary. As a matter of fact, faith is one of those key tenets, cornerstones that most masters are able to engage with on some level. I'm engaging with it now, right this very second. As a matter of fact, it is that faith and that connection to this very moment that allows me to breathe and dance with this reality. If I were to, for example, go back to the me that was, let's say, 4 years ago, probably couldn't be as single as I am now. And that's been one of my growths, that I've been able to enjoy my own company. In other words, you're never going to have a better relationship than the one you have with yourself. I'm having a nice night making this video. It's a Friday, and it's a new territory for me that it wasn't always the norm. It's the norm now as I go through this woods in my life. And in there, you know, there's classical music playing in the background. I've got this sports blazer on, have some nice cologne on. I've taken a nice shower. You've eaten a good salad. And I've worked out today. I've studied. I'm watching an interview with Elon Musk and Joe Rogan. I've prayed to God. The piano in the background is playing nicely, and I feel that there's a synchronistic effect between the piano and faith in this conversation. It's almost as if I'm in this dance with the now that is consuming all of the senses, my intuition, all of that which is me. My ego is here, so is my soul, so is my growth, my weaknesses. It's all here right in front of you now. And that would be the relationship with myself. So that right there, that explanation came from wanting a relationship with myself, because I had, again, in darkness, in pain, in heartbreak, experienced a lack. Imagine what it would feel like to have 3 breakups. You didn't want it to be that way, but it did, and part of it is my own fault, and being like egotistical, or being, too selfish, or maybe just, dropping my standards, or being abused by the other person emotionally. When you just wonder, like, what am I doing wrong? And so with that pain, with that heartbreak, it's almost as if you have enough fuel and pain and hurt to, in that darkness, be so committed to feeling something better, some higher level of understanding, that you commit to reaching the next level of your being. That's what I did. And so here we are. Here I am, doing my best to be naked in front of the camera for you. To be as naked as I possibly can, so you can see what's going on behind the message. So you can see what exactly I'm looking to communicate to you. See the name Through the Dark Wood, right? It seems trivial. You can never have a better relationship you'll never have a better relationship than one you have with yourself. Okay, it's cute, sounds like some cool little fortune cookie, right? But when you can start embodying it and feeling it, and it doesn't scare you to be alone, it's because not if you're open. It's not like, oh, I just want to be alone only. It's just like there's a calling through your work, there's a calling through your schedule, there's a calling in all you do, and you're working through the shit, the baggage shit, the scheduling, the demands of work, your aspirations, your standards. This can get heavy for some. And it almost gets heavier if you're around people that complain and tell you it's heavy. And yet, so if you can embody and face, this is what I must face in order to become the person I want to become, to achieve what I want to achieve, then so be it. I will embrace that. If that's what makes other people get scared and settle and then complain further about life and get caught up in this cycle of that they never break away from their family stuff, and it's the same crap, the same standards, the same living, this terrible health. If that's what I gotta walk away from, then so be it. And that's what we've seen, right? We see that maybe you can tell that your parents or whatever, your family, your friends, maybe they're doing drugs and staying in the same level. Maybe your parents, never forgave each other for the divorce, Maybe you're still mad at your mom or your dad for the stuff they didn't do or could have done when they were raising you. Maybe you're caught up in some breakup or mad that your ex-husband cheated on you or your ex cheated on you, right? And that's standard. It's a standard way of being. And until we can embrace what is now, until we can embrace what is now, only then can we start at 0 and move to step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But we can't start at negative 100. In other words, we can't start at the past. We can't start at the past and go to 1, right? You can't start at the past and go to 1. You'd be in step 99 maybe. You'd have to get out of the past to come to the present. Embrace who you are. Start whatever it is that you need to start. Read the book that you need to read. Take the course that you need to take. Start the skill that you need to start. Remove the people that you need to remove that are toxic for you. Begin the meditation practice. Go to church. Do what you need to do. Or if you must do none of these things, then do not do any of them. I don't care. Do what you must. Listen to your deepest level of truth. You know what you got to do. It's not like you're going to watch this video and go, you know what is going to help me is to become an addict, a cigarette addict. I need to become a cigarette addict. That's what I need to do. That's not likely going to come to you as your highest level of understanding and next move. Make the next move, commit, begin taking action, and never quit on that objective. And when you need to change, change it. Embrace who you are. Embrace the now. Naturally, some might view a video like this and think I'm crazy. No. For yourself, hopefully for you, what that means is that you can hear the validity. You can maybe get through the dark wood and start developing the relationship for yourself, with yourself, because that's the most important relationship. In this world, expect placation, expect bullshit, expect cycles, expect mediocrity from the average individual. Greatness comes at a level of sacrifice and deep intuition and deep understanding. And it requires clarity, and it requires drive and need. It requires trust. It requires vulnerability. That's what greatness needs. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Comment below. This is Jacob Adams. We'll see you next time.